Welcome to our Devos. This week we're talking about money matters. We're talking about why it's important to recognize what God says about money and how it impacts you and your relationship to Him. And there's one final thing for this week that I want to leave you with that I think is worth you to consider more than just like how much money do I make, and how do I save, how do I get out of debt, how do I give. All of those things are super important, but here's a little bit of an accelerant, okay? Value wisdom as an income accelerator. Value wisdom as an income accelerator. Let me give you an example. When I think about the stuff that I've done in terms of my side stuff and even in terms of the church, I've never been ashamed to actually ask someone who's doing well, hey, can I just sit with you for like an hour, take some notes, watch what you do, write down why you do what you do, and then, maybe ask you some questions? I have never had anyone say no to that. I just did this. So here, I'll give you a couple of these. These are things that I would say in the devotions. There was a cover designer, a book cover designer, because I write books on the side, and cover design is expensive, and those book covers, they could be like $600 or $700 a cover if you want a really good one. So once you start to make them, you have to learn a little bit of a program. You pick whichever program you want, but there's like a way to go about doing it. So I kept seeing patterns, and so I reached out to, and he was a friend of mine, a really well-known, well-respected cover design artist. He was, really good in the field, and I paid him to design a cover. And it was worth the price. He designed a cover for me. And then I said, good. I said, now can I pay you for another cover? He said, sure, yeah, I'll do it. I said, but instead of designing the cover for me, can I just pay you to watch what you would do if you were setting up to design the cover from the beginning, and I watch your process? And he was like, nobody's ever asked me to do that. And so he let me. I paid him for like 4 or 5 tutorials. And it was more expensive than the cover. But guess what? By the end of that, I learned how to make book covers. Now, am I the best book cover? No. I'm not the best one. He's the best one. If I want the best, I'm going to go to the best one. But what I'm saying is wisdom caused me to be able to have something, a skill, a marketable skill that I wouldn't have had otherwise. And that enabled me to make my own book covers. So the book covers for the books that I have out, not the church ones, one of the church ones, but some of the other books I have out, I make the covers myself. Now, they're not the best, but if you saw it in a bookstore, you wouldn't go, no, it doesn't belong there. And the reason why is because I watched this cover designer. So I have no wisdom, nothing, no wisdom whatsoever. But because I was willing to sit with somebody that had wisdom, it accelerated my ability to learn a thing. So here's what you have to realize. Wisdom is more valuable often than money. It is more valuable than money. Remember, when Solomon was asked what he wanted from the Lord, he didn't ask for riches. He didn't ask for conquest. He asked for wisdom. And because he asked for wisdom, the Lord granted him all of it, because the wisdom enabled him to do more. Now, some of you, you're like, I don't have much income. You can access wisdom. You can become a YouTube student. You can watch what people do, all the content that's free online. When Elon Musk was asked about school and how to study, he basically said this. He said, you can become an expert on anything with consistent studying of videos on YouTube. Consistent studying of videos on YouTube, not just doom scrolling and cat videos, but like that you're looking to learn certain things that you have no business learning. You can become wiser, and that wisdom can help you handle your money better. You have to be willing to know what you don't know. And when you know what you don't know, you're like, okay, now I'm at a place where I can start to excel from that. It says in Proverbs 24, 3-4, by wisdom a house is built, and by understanding it's established. By knowledge the rooms are filled with all the precious and pleasant riches. You will learn more when you borrow somebody else's degree. Lease their degree. Buy them lunch. Let me tell you a secret. It's a really big secret, okay? You ready for this? You're going to be shocked. People love to talk about themselves. They love to talk about how they do what they do, especially when you're genuinely interested. No one that I've met, I mean, unless super busy and they just don't have time to talk to you, or they're kind of like thinking they're better than other people. Nobody, when you're like, wow, how did you get into that? Like, what made that happen for you? When did this click for you? When you start asking those like deeper level questions, nobody is like, oh, I'm talking to you about this. They love it. Their eyes light up because they enjoy what they do and their success. You have to have a little bit of humility, a little bit of diplomacy, and a lot of desire to have wisdom, because sometimes when you're stuck financially and you can't get out of debt and you're like, I'm missing something here. I can't figure out how to get this budget under control. I can't figure out how to manage this business. I can't figure out how to fix this problem. Sitting down with somebody that's down the road from you and talking through the problem and getting their wisdom, the Lord uses that. He uses that. That's why in Rooted, and plug for Rooted again, we talk about the connection points being more than the content. Like anybody could read, like you have access to everything right now through an audio book and through a podcast. But when you're sitting next to somebody else and you're actually connecting to them and establishing a relationship with them and understanding what they've gone through, especially when it comes to money, especially when it comes to financial things, wisdom is established, and it enables you to accelerate your own income growth as well.